Hey folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome to the farm vlog today. Today's farm vlog is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing a quick review of our Mercedes Sprinter van. As you can tell, we are in the desert of Utah. What a beautiful, beautiful place. That's important because we are 1,921 miles away from home, and I'm going to tell you our experiences with the Sprinter van after 1 year of use. All right, let's go have some fun. Woo! Stoney Ridge, farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Josh and we have a farm vlog called Stoney Ridge Farmer. We go around and we visit farms, we show you what it takes to grow a farm, to start a farm, to live off the land, to raise gardens, and just have a lot of fun. So part of our channel is doing vehicle reviews and tractor reviews. This is our 2016 Sprinter van. It's a Mercedes Sprinter van. It is, I guess you'd consider the base model. In other words, we didn't pay the extra $6,000 that Mercedes wanted to have push buttons on the steering wheel to control volume and to be able to get a little more information in the dash. Now, that being said, a 2016 model van, I'm really disappointed with a few different things, and I'm really happy with a few different things. Obviously, we love the van. Obviously, we use the van. We don't camp in the van. We don't sleep in the van. We're not building it out for a camper. The video is about reliability, the little quirks that I don't like, and the things that I think Mercedes should have improved on and should have done a better job at on this Sprinter van. We love it. We enjoy it, but I'm going to tell you my opinion, okay? So for all you folks that are in love with Mercedes, oh, it's so lovely, I don't care. I'm going to tell you the reality behind owning a Sprinter van. All right, when we started this journey, this van had 32,000 miles on it. It has 37,000 miles on it. Now, if you want to know about a vehicle, go on a 5,000 mile road trip and you'll figure out the things that you don't like, the things that you do like, and the little quirks that get on your nerves. So 1 year ago to the month, we were right here with this van and it had 14,000 miles on it. Now this video is going to be a quick review after 1 year. If you haven't seen the first video, it will be linked up here. Let me start by saying I love the van. I love how it travels. I love how it drives on the road, on the open road. What a great machine for traveling. I could not imagine being in a pickup truck or a Chevy Malibu or something like that, you know, something that you would rent. I just could not imagine that. Riding in this thing for 8 hours is easy on the bum, which is very important. So today we're driving from Moab, Utah to Denver, Colorado, and it'll just go by like that. This machine is very good for road trips. Now that being said, a few quirks that I mentioned last year and a few more quirks that I'm going to mention this year. The windshield still makes a noise, a lot of noise at high speed. Now I say high speed, this thing is governed at 85 miles an hour. The speed limit out here, just for all you folks who might live in Europe and don't understand, the speed limit out here in the West, out in the high desert country and stuff, is 80 miles per hour. So we set the cruise at about 80 or 82 miles per hour on this machine, and we start to hear noise from the windows, okay? We start to hear noise from around the edges of the windshield. Now it's better this year than it was last year. Last year after our trip, we had the windshield replaced because one little rock chip went and busted the windshield. That's pretty common out west here. There are a lot of stones and a lot of wind, so the wind blows stones and rocks up onto the road and it slings them onto your windshield, and this thing is huge. It's like looking out of a giant HD television screen. So that's one of the downsides to this thing, is the windshield is a rock grabbing fool. Now it's also a bug grabbing fool. That's okay. Some of the things that we really do like about the van is I'm 6'5" and I have a lot of headroom. If we were to buy this van again for road trips and for using for the farm, so we don't camp in this vehicle, we could sleep in it. We have an air mattress back there. If we wanted to camp, it'd be no problem. If we wanted to outfit it as a camper, we would not buy this model. We would buy the longer model, the longer wheelbase. I think it's a 177-inch wheelbase, and we would buy the taller model. Would we waste the money on the rear air conditioner? No, we would not. If we're going to make this a camper, we would not waste the money on the rear air conditioner unless we got the package that you can order from Mercedes that varies the idle speed. So this van has a lot of emissions control system built into it. And if you don't vary that speed of the engine, then you can damage that emission system. So if you do decide to build a camper van, get the tall one, get the long one, and make sure you have the variable idle speed switch so that you don't tear up your emissions control system. The van rides great, the van sits great, the van is easy to travel in, the van has a lot of storage, the van is very capable, and the van gets good fuel economy. We're getting somewhere on the average of 24, a maximum of about 27 miles per gallon depending on your speed. Now if we're setting a cruise control to 80, we're getting 22 miles to the gallon out of this thing. It's a 4-cylinder diesel engine. It's a little powerhouse and it really propels this van well, unless you're going up a really tall mountain. So we were in the mountains of Utah 2 days ago and we're cruising up the mountain. I had the cruise control set at 80 and I just watched the speedometer just slowly dial down. So at times that 4-cylinder engine will not maintain extreme highway speeds, I would say. It's very rare that you'll be going 80 miles an hour down the highway, but it will not maintain those speeds if you're at high altitude and if you're climbing a steep mountain. You're gonna have to slow it down to about 65. It's a truck, it's a van, and it doesn't have all the power in the world. Now the towing capacity on this van is about 5,000 pounds, and that's based upon the chassis. I think it would pull more weight, but I don't think you'd want to pull any more weight, simply because of the transmission. Now it has an automatic transmission, and what I was told by Mercedes is, get that transmission serviced at Mercedes, and the transmission does not have the same warranty as the rest of the drivetrain. I think the Mercedes guy, now don't hold me to this, some of you guys that work for Mercedes may know this, but I think the Mercedes guy told me the transmission is only warranted to 36,000 miles, where the rest of the van is warranted to 100,000 miles. We clearly haven't reached the 100,000 mile mark, and we haven't had any troubles whatsoever. Now let's get into a few of the negative nuances that I don't like about the van. I don't like the digital display in the van. I don't like it. The digital display, meaning where the speedometer and stuff is, it doesn't give you enough information. The little display in the dash is highly inadequate for a vehicle that has an MSRP of over $45,000. Now as for quirkiness, in a high wind situation, when you're driving in high wind, you clearly know that this van is a high profile vehicle. That's fine, that's just fine. Don't drive it off-road. Period, point blank. If you get a 2-wheel drive model, do not drive it off-road. We've had several incidents on our farm where snow was a factor, where gravel was a factor, where mud was a factor, where grass was a factor. This vehicle will get stuck on a wet banana peel, so if you're gonna be doing any off-road stuff, if you're gonna be driving up and down gravel roads a whole lot, or if you're gonna be driving in the snow, I highly recommend you get the 4-wheel drive model, because in the snow, this vehicle is absolutely useless. Now let's talk about creature comforts in the inside. This is a 12-passenger van. You can buy the crew van, which has 2 front seats and 1 3-person back seat. That's what I would buy if it were me to buy again, because we're not hauling people for church. If you're thinking about buying one of these for hauling people or church, awesome, awesome vehicle. Again, be aware, you can't drive it in the snow so much, or you need to have a lot more weight in the back of it in order to keep from getting stuck. Another little nuance that I don't like about the van is the fuel light. So the light comes on warning you for low fuel when you have 5 gallons of fuel left in your tank. So if you're driving long distances across the country, you'll find that every 3.5 hours or so, you're stopping for fuel and your tank is not empty. I don't know if it's a safety feature that's built in by Mercedes to keep you from running out of fuel. It's a big pain in the butt to run out of fuel on a diesel engine. However, I think it's a little bit redundant to have the fuel light come on. So basically it stays full, it works its way down to about half a tank, and then it goes yoop, right to the fuel light coming on. It'll only stay at 1/4 of a tank for 10 minutes before it goes down to no fuel. It's quite disturbing, and it worries you. So basically you end up stopping for fuel probably twice as much as you would normally have to stop for fuel. In other words, today we should have enough fuel to make it to Denver, Colorado from Moab, Utah, but we'll have to stop because the fuel light will come on somewhere in between when we have plenty of fuel to make it to our destination. Now I spoke about the rear air conditioner. Well, it was my assumption that the rear air conditioner, it has a dial from cold to hot. It was my assumption that the rear air would turn hot if you turned it to hot. So it would serve as a heater in the winter and an air conditioner in the summer. Not the case, okay? So if you're hauling people around, you're gonna have to rely on the heat from the front of the van to heat the rear of the van, because the rear air is not rear heat, it's only rear air. That's something I do not like. That's something I think could be totally improved upon. Now, let me take you around the van and show you a few things that I need to point out to you that I don't like. Okay, so beyond the shadow of the doubt, this is ridiculous. This is where the spray comes out for your windshield washer fluid. This just flops around all over everywhere. It's not secure. It's a very poor design, and if anybody wants to argue that, I'll argue it with you all day long. That is horrible. Now, it drifts, it'll drift all the way down here. So if you look, this one sprays in the middle of the window, and this one has slid all the way down here. Now if I slide it up, well, there's just not enough slack right there. So basically when I spray my washer fluid, it sprays right there, and that's it. So the rest of the window doesn't get washed. This is highly inadequate, cheap, and I don't understand why Mercedes would even put something like that on their van. Excuse the mess, but we're driving this van across the country. If you're not a tall person, where are you gonna grab on this van to get in? I'm 6'5", and right here is where my nipple line is, okay? So right there is where a normal person would be reaching to grab a handle to pull themselves in. Well, the only handle is up here. I'm 6'5", and I'm having to reach really high to get there. So if you're an elderly person, it's very difficult to get in and out of this van. If you're an elderly person or if you're a shorter person, it's very hard to get in and out of this van. All right, let's go back over here to this side of the van and talk about the sliding rear door. This is the sliding rear door. That thing rolls all the way back just like this. It's a mess in here. Okay, it locks into place. The guy that's sitting in this seat right here cannot reach the handle to release the door. So here's the handle to release the door. It locks into place. A guy cannot reach from this seat to here. So how do you shut the rear door? Well, the driver has to shut the rear door. It's a pain in the butt. All right, folks, I hope you're really appreciating this honest, non-biased, I'm gonna make a camper out of my van, dude, kind of review here. This is a review that the average consumer is gonna use this van for. And these are a few nuances that get on my nerves. These are a few things that I don't like. Will I buy another Sprinter van? Absolutely. Do I love my van? Absolutely. Are there things that could be different that would make this van better? Absolutely. Now, if you're gonna buy your own Sprinter van, I recommend you go find yourself a used one. The MSRP on this one was $45,000 plus. I think we paid $30,000 with 10,000 miles on it. You just can't beat that. Still, at this price point, it's a very expensive van. It has lots of headroom, lots of room inside for storage, lots of room to haul stuff around. It's a good little workhorse. It will tow 5,000 pounds. It will get stuck on a wet banana peel, and that's it. That's just a simple fact of it. If you pull it into a place that's not flat and it's wet grass, you will be stuck. You will be spinning tires. We spun tires turning around on this flat spot right here where we're parked. We've taken it to the lake and parked on a gravel road and tried to back out and been stuck just on a hill, just like that. So be aware, if you're gonna be doing any off-roading with this thing, if you're gonna take it off-road in the gravel, stuff like that, or camp in it, you want to try and get the four-wheel drive model. Next time, we'll buy the four-wheel drive, we'll buy the high top, and we'll buy the long one. So that's it. That's the rub. These are the things that I don't like. I don't like the windshield washer fluid sprayer. I don't like where the cup holders are located up on the dash. Now the Ford cup holders are in the same spot. So if you've got warm coffee, put it up on the dash. If you got a cold soda, you're gonna have to find another place. So if you're looking for a traveling vehicle, if you're looking for a little workhorse for the job site, if you're looking for something that's gonna be reliable, check out the Mercedes Sprinter van. We like ours, but we don't like some of the little nuances. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. Be sure and click that link down there, subscribe to the channel, pound that thumbs up, and we'll see you, hopefully, next time with our new Sprinter van. All right?
We'll come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife and bring your